You know, there's a game being played all around us, every single second of every day. It's a game with enormous stakes, and it's played by some of the sharpest minds on the entire planet. And today, we're going to take a peek inside.
Welcome. I'm really glad you're here. Let's begin.
Okay, so before we can even think about playing, we have to understand the arena, right? We need to see this game for what it really is once you strip away all the jargon and all the noise.
Because at its core, that's really all it is. It's a guessing game. You're getting paid to guess where money is going to move next. And everything else, everything is built on top of that simple, almost profound foundation. But you know, if it's just a guessing game, how do you win? How do you win consistently? Well, the answer? It lies in finding an edge, some kind of advantage, doesn't matter how small, that you can press over and over again. So really, how do you win a guessing game that's being played by the best in the world? It's not about having just one superpower. It's more about cultivating a really unique set of strengths. I mean, think about it. Some people win because they can just read and process information way faster than anyone else. Others, they recognize patterns that the market just doesn't see yet. Then you've got people with these networks that whisper where the money is going. And some folks can just operate in places that nobody else can even touch. Each one of those is a totally different kind of advantage. You can almost think of it like this. Your edge isn't just one skill. It's like a character sheet in an online game, an MMORPG. You're building up your stats, your speed, your analytical power, your network, and you're trying to create a character, a player who can actually survive in that arena.
And you have to remember, it is a brutal arena. This is not a game where everyone gets a trophy just for showing up. The rewards are, well, they're massively skewed towards the very best players. And everyone else? They're pretty much left with nothing.
And here's the really crucial part. Any edge you find, it's temporary. The game adapts to you, people learn what you're doing, that knowledge spreads, and suddenly your advantage just decays. The winners get bigger, the losers die out. It's this constantly evolving, totally Darwinistic system. So all this relentless pressure, it doesn't just test your skills, it tests your mind. And that external game, it very quickly becomes an internal one. Suddenly, there's nowhere to hide. Every single flaw, every insecurity, every little hidden fear you have about your own abilities, it all gets dragged right out into the light. It's a very fast and often very painful way to find out who you really are. And this is the key to psychological survival. Look, if your whole sense of self-worth is tied to being right, a single loss can just shatter you. But if your identity is built on having a solid process, then you can withstand the hits. You become sustainable. And you're going to see other people win. I mean, win in spectacular fashion. And that feeling of envy that follows, it's almost impossible to avoid. The real choice is what you do with it. Are you going to use it as a tool to learn from what they did right? Or are you going to let it become a poison that just consumes you with anxiety and burnout? You know, the psychology of it is like a pendulum. When you're winning, it's so easy to get arrogant, right? To believe your bad habits are actually part of your genius. But when you're losing, it's just as easy to lose faith in your entire process, even the parts that actually work. The trick is to just not get too high or too low. So if the game is always getting harder and your own mind can literally be your worst enemy, how do you stay alive? Well, you develop a healthy sense of paranoia. You learn to manage risk above absolutely everything else. And this is your framework for survival. Number 1, panic early. Don't wait until it's too late. 2, always have an exit plan before you even get in. 3, avoid those deep drawdowns. You have to protect your capital from ruinous losses. 4, have the humility to accept what you just don't know. 5, stay liquid. Keep your capital ready for opportunities. And finally, number 6, respect your counterparty. Never, ever underestimate the person on the other side of your trade. You should always be asking yourself this question. Why is this opportunity available to me? If something looks too good to be true, it's probably because you're the last one to the party. You might be the one they're all waiting for. This is the trap of adverse selection, and believe me, it is everywhere. And the toll of this paranoia, this constant vigilance, it's immense. People in this industry, they tend to age terribly because the mental stress is just relentless. You have to put in intentional effort to take care of yourself. Seriously, the money means absolutely nothing without your health. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second, because this isn't just about trading, right? This is actually a lens through which we can view much, much larger systems, including our own lives.
Look, for every winner in a trade, there has to be a loser. It's a zero-sum exchange. But the collective effect of all these little exchanges, the market itself, that directs resources, it funds innovation, and it actually helps civilizations advance. So it does serve a purpose, even if it feels pretty useless when you're down in the weeds.
And that's the whole perspective problem, isn't it? It's so hard to see the big picture when you're on the ground floor. We see these price movements and we create these simple little stories to explain them, but the reality is, we're just individual ants, trying to make sense of the emergent behavior of the entire colony.
And this brings us to what might be the most vital takeaway of all. This industry has chewed up and spat out millions of people, and their tragedy wasn't a lack of effort. It was playing a game that just wasn't meant for them. The most important search you'll ever go on isn't for the perfect strategy. It's for the game that you and only you were uniquely built to play.
So, I'll just leave you with this question. Take a look at your stats, your own unique collection of skills and talents, the ones you've been shaping since you were a kid. What game were you truly meant to play?